This is home. It's our town, it's our song. This is home. This is where we belong. This is home. Yeah. This is home.
Good evening and thank you for joining us for News at 10 tonight. I'm Brittany Cooper. In our top story, after deliberating for a total of 7 hours, a verdict was reached by the jury in the Lori Vallow Daybell trial.
Question number 1. In regards to count 1 of the amended indictment, is Lori Noreen Vallow not guilty or guilty of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder of Tylee Ryan and grand theft by deception? Answer, guilty. Question number 2. In regards to count 2 of the amended indictment, is Lori Noreen Vallow not guilty or guilty of first-degree murder of Tylee Ryan? Answer, guilty.
Vallow Daybell was found guilty of all charges related to the murder of her 2 children, J.J. Vallow and Tylee Ryan, and the murder of Tammy Daybell, Chad's former wife, as well as grand theft. Heather Ann Wagner was in the courtroom today as the verdict was being read and joins us now in the studio. Heather Ann, what can you tell us?
Well, Brittany, it was a very emotional day for the families of the victims, law enforcement who worked on the case, and even the state's attorneys. The grandparents of J.J. Vallow were crying as the court clerk read the guilty verdict and the charges associated with his murder. Law enforcement lined the hallways leading out of the courtroom as they celebrated the verdict. Outside, Kay and Larry Woodcock were greeted with supporters, cheers, and a song.
JJ, we will rock you. Yay! We will rock you. Turn out the lights. Yeah. The party's over. They say that all good things. Glory, it came to you today.
Both grandparents spoke about hearing the guilty verdicts and the victims, saying how much they miss and love JJ and Tylee, and how even though they didn't meet Tammy Daybell, she's considered family. The prosecuting attorneys issued a statement saying, in part, they are pleased and thank the jury and law enforcement for their work. Even though they can't give statements due to the case pending against Chad Daybell, they assure everyone they remain committed to justice for the victims. Lori Vallow Daybell will be sentenced in Fremont County in about 3 months. Reporting live in the studio, Heather Ann Wagner, KMVT News.
Those in law enforcement have the important job of keeping us safe. However, there are some things that humans just can't do, and that's where police dogs come in. Brevin Monroe has more.
My favorite part of being a canine officer is definitely, I can't believe that I get paid to work with the dog for my job. Can't believe it. I have the best job in the world.
Lincoln County Sheriff Deputy Bill Dietz has been in law enforcement in the Magic Valley for 24 years, the last 6 of which have been as a canine officer. Dietz's old dog, Boxo, retired from the force back in June and now lives with him at home. But his new sidekick, Leviticus, or Levi for short, has stepped in as his new companion, and Dietz talked about what has been the hardest part about getting him up to speed.
I think just trying to bond with the dog is the biggest challenge for me, and it's such a deep bond that a canine handler has with his dog, and we're just trying to foster that.
Dietz and his canine dogs have a long track record of helping out around the Magic Valley with a variety of different situations, ranging from drug busts to missing people. Dietz also said that the canine unit in Lincoln County gets deployed on many more calls than one would expect.
Yeah, my other dog, Canine Boxo, we assisted in over 100 arrests here in the Magic Valley. We have located many missing people and then assisted in any type of patrol call where my dog has to be deployed from the car to basically as my partner.
Police canines are an important member of each county's law enforcement team, and these dogs know that the second the police canine vest is on, it's all business. Reporting in Shoshone, Brevin Monroe, KMVT News.
From SoFi Stadium, KMVT sports coverage of the LA Bowl starts now. You know, Eric, one of our coworkers is in sunny Los Angeles because the Boise State Broncos are down there ahead of their LA Bowl game tomorrow afternoon against the UCLA Bruins. KVT's Cole Implet is live from Hollywood to set up the Broncos bowl game. Cole.
Brittany, what is up? That's right, I'm outside SoFi Stadium, the home of the LA Bowl between the UCLA Bruins and the Boise State Broncos, set for kickoff in just under 24 hours now. It's going to be a fun one. And these two teams have been having fun all week long, starting this morning as both the Broncos and the Bruins visited La Tierra Charter School in Englewood. They had a great time there as they hang out with a bunch of the kids playing football. They're playing a little bit of basketball, a little pickup action, even some volleyball action, of course. Just a fun time to interact with the students, and for the students, it was a great last day. This is their last day of Christmas before Christmas break, so hanging out with a bunch of Broncos and Bruins, I'm sure, is a great time. And of course, the host, Mr. Robbie G, Rob Gronkowski himself, was there hanging out with everybody. I love to see him, the kids love to see him, and the players love to see him as well. Just a great time.
And now, your KMVT hometown forecast with Chief Meteorologist Eric Brill.
There is an area of high pressure that is to our southeast here. It's going to allow us, in theory, have a nice weekend, but since we still have the inversion in place, temperatures are still doing a bit of a flip-flop around here as to the warmer conditions happening in the higher terrain and the cooler conditions happening in the lower terrain. And here's kind of more of a visual that maybe will kind of help you see this out here. As temperatures increasing here with height, but in theory, well, we should have the warm air closer to the surface. Instead, it's doing a bit of a flip-flop here, and that's when you get a lot of those clouds to develop here. So for those of you that are new to southern Idaho, maybe don't have as much familiarity with respect to inversions, this isn't that atypical to happen. And, well, unfortunately, we kind of get these like this, where it is a little bit colder into those lower elevation areas while the higher terrain is above the inversion, and see some of those warmer temperatures around.
Well, the biggest story coming out of the Treasure Valley today, the opening of In-N-Out. The restaurant opened this morning at the Village at Meridian. Loyal fans of the restaurant camped out overnight, and one drive-through customer spent 30 hours in line. For In-N-Out, the chief operating officer says the opening of today's location has been a long time coming. Idaho is now the 7th state to have an In-N-Out and is the chain's 400th restaurant. That's a little too die-hard for me, just for a restaurant. What about you?
You know, I'm happy that it gives people jobs, of course.
There you go.
But it's grossly overrated.
What is your favorite chain for burgers and fries?
Well, the whole thing is, of course, I'm going to say Whataburger, but that's going to mean necessarily nothing to people around here because we don't. The closest one is in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and as somebody that's literally driven down there and back for a weekend just for that, it's a long drive. Yeah, so that's what I'll go with. I'm hoping that this new construction site that they have on Blue Lakes, they're putting a Raising Cane's there because I'll be pretty happy, and I might camp out for 30 days there, but time will tell.
30 days?
Yeah, why not?
You're gonna go live every day?
Yeah.
You're going to build a yurt down there?
Oh, it's a great yurt.
All right.
Every year, the Idaho Dark Sky Reserve has to give an annual report to maintain its status as a dark sky reserve. And every year, they've had help from students. Since the founding of the Central Idaho Dark Sky Reserve, the Idaho Dark Sky Alliance has taken on the task of monitoring light pollution that could affect the region, but they haven't done it alone. Students from the University of California, Los Angeles have come up yearly to help.
But I did loan them my equipment, and they were able to go out and get one of these images and meet some of the people in the reserve doing the organization around the administration of the reserve and outreach work and whatnot.
The students just finished the latest light monitoring exercise and presented their findings in a public forum at the Ketchum City Hall, with Boise and Twin Falls contributing the largest amount.
The fact that Twin Falls still has a pretty significant contribution at such a far distance means that it's likely a more significant source, and Boise as well.
While the cities of Ketchum and Sun Valley actually saw a decrease of overall light pollution.
And then for the significant downwards trends, we have Sun Valley, Idaho for both the months of August and October, and Ketchum for just October.
For Idaho Dark Sky Alliance President Carol Cole, these results weren't surprising.
Actually, from the time we put in the application in 2017, we noted that a lot of the threats to the reserve itself will come from outside the reserve.
The forum ended with a training from the students on how to use the light monitoring tools. If you're interested in learning about the tools, you can contact the Idaho Dark Sky Alliance for more information.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us for your news at 10 tonight. I'm Brittany Cooper. In our top story, the search for a Gooding County man continues. The city of Gooding is shocked by the mysterious disappearance of Roger Driesel, who has now been missing for more than a week. Reporter Steve Kurtz has an update on the search and if law enforcement has any leads.
58-year-old Roger Driesel was a staple in the Gooding community. Family and friends say roughly 90% of the town knows who he is.
So Roger was a very loud, outspoken person. As I would describe him to people, he's a social butterfly.
You could not get Roger to shut up. And the longer he talked, the louder his voice would get.
Roger's family says he served 18 years in the National Guard and 18 months in Baghdad for the Army. Additionally, they say he has never been diagnosed with PTSD, but to some, he may show signs of dementia. But whatever his mood is, family says he is never violent.
No matter what, he would give the shirt off his back to help you.
Now, Driesel is missing for more than a week.
It's pretty rough.
He was last seen Monday evening, May 15th, at his girlfriend's nephew's residence in Gooding. It was reported that after getting into a verbal altercation, he left with people unknown to the family in a gray or silver 2010-ish SUV. He left several items behind at his place of residence, such as his phone and wallet, and has not contacted his family since.
He might be irresponsible, but he's not that irresponsible.
No,
and to also, Dad's birthday was Thursday.
Yeah.
Nothing in a million years would keep Roger away from Dad's birthday.
Many people in this Gooding community say for Roger to be missing this long is highly unusual. So they've been putting up missing person posters up in their shops and around town.
Well, because if I were missing, I know for a fact that Roger would be looking for me.
Family and friends have also issued a reward and are working with a group out of Rupert to organize a search party.
Or we've got maps that we're going to be shading in where we've all gone. We know what ground's already been covered.
The Gooding Police Department says roughly 30 officers from multiple agencies have worked on this case. There have been several reports of sightings, but none have led to Driesel being located yet.
Do you think foul play might have happened?
Yeah.
Yes.
Roger's sister, Julianne Baitlin, has taken a leave of absence from her job in Hayburn and is now living on her father's property in Gooding until Roger is found. She still has hope of his return.
My logic is that he was picked up, he was beat up, he has a concussion, he doesn't know who he is. I don't feel that he's dead.
But every passing day weighs on the Gooding community.
Yeah, every day it's getting scarier and scarier.
Reporting from Gooding, Steve Kirch, Kmvt.
Since the proposal of the Lava Ridge Wind Project, controversy has swirled around the plan to bring up to 400 wind turbines to the Magic Valley. One group, Stop Lava Ridge, which has thousands of followers, is taking a stand.
We are trying to stop the windmills. I mean, this is the wrong place, it's the wrong time, it's going to destroy, it's going to change our way of life. The power is not for Idaho.
Diamond says the challenge of fighting back against this proposal is difficult and often overly time-consuming for the Jerome farmer, but he won't back down.
We know the people in the valley are opposed to it. And so we need people to send in their letters.
Since last year, Diamond and his group have urged people to send comments to their local, state, and federal representatives, voicing how they feel about the plan to bring the wind energy farm to southern Idaho. And he says their voices are being heard.
Politicians are checking with the BLM to see what the activity is. LS Power has got a form letter out there where you can just hit a thing and says, I'm in favor of this project, and they send it in. So they're getting tons of comments in.
In the beginning of February, a joint letter from Governor Brad Little, Lieutenant Governor Scott Bedke, Congressman Mike Simpson, and both U.S. Senators Risch and Crapo was released, raising concerns about the Lava Ridge proposal. The letter says Idahoans cherish the concept of multiple and mixed uses on their public lands, and that this project will have long-term impact on recreation, grazing, sporting uses, and the land in general.
You know, I think a lot of the Idaho leadership have raised important questions and have echoed concerns that their constituents have relayed to them. We think it's a great way to have this public conversation.
A meeting discussing the BLM's Environmental Impact Survey will be held Tuesday, February 23rd at Canyon Crest Event Center in Twin Falls. Zach Brule, KMVT News.
Well, this week we continue to highlight the generous businesses across the Magic Valley that have signed up this year to be a sponsor for Toys for Tots drop-off locations. Right now, we'll have more with Maitana Erue, who stopped by Tony's 2T Auto in Twin Falls.
Hi everyone, I'm here at Tony's 2T Auto in Addison Avenue, and I'm here with Rick. How are you today?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm good, thank you for asking. So, why did you guys decide to host Toys for Tots?
We think it's a good way to give back to the community. We do it every year. It's just
one of the ways that we like to see the give back instead of the receive.
So how does it make you guys feel to host Toys for Tots and give to underprivileged kids?
The smile on their face says it all. You know, it's kind of a good feeling for us to see the smile on the kids' face because they got a Christmas that they didn't think they were going to get.
So speaking of that, a kid who receives a toy, you know, how does it make you feel seeing the smile on their face when they receive that toy because of Toys for Tots?
I think it's heartwarming for anybody to see a kid smile, especially at Christmas time.
And can you tell us the time and location?
We're here Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
And you're located?
2374 Addison Avenue East.
Okay. Thank you, and back to you in the studio.